I'd like to say it was a correction, but it was a depression. But I think it made people people that grew up through that era to be more conservative from the standpoint of how they raise capital, the partnerships they bring forward. We have partnered with a lot of different pension funds and run our business in a way where we can create these partnerships where we can minimize our downside, share market knowledge together, and makes everybody healthier and more successful.
That's what's staggering. What's staggering is the quality of the people who are coming into our business. Because remember, in the early to mid to late 90s, we had a real dearth of new people coming in. And the last 5 or 6 years, the caliber of the people entering this business is very high, particularly on that fee services side of the business.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there's a market pricing correction. I would say that because Canada has been a safe haven, because of economic and financial stability of the country, it really has been a great place for investors to put their money. I do think we have topped out for the short term in terms of pricing, but what that's doing is allowing people who may have wanted assets that they couldn't get their hands on in the past to trade, because there are financial investors who are making that decision to sell their core assets and their top real estate. I do think inflation helps us. I think there will always be a way to see pricing move up. I don't necessarily see a market correction. What I'm seeing is pricing may have topped out in the short term.
I would say there has to be some sort of correction. I don't think it's going to be very big nor long-lasting. I think the marketplace is very strong here. The economy is very strong. It's going to depend on what happens with the U.S. and the election coming up there that may or may not have a longer-term impact. No.
I think the only thing that would do that, well, two things that could do it. It was a severe shift in the fundamentals, which I don't see. Slowing down won't hurt Canada because we're quite resilient on the demand-supply curve. And the only other thing could do is rising interest rates. And when the Fed made their announcement the other day, saying that for the next 2 years they're going to keep rates down, that basically shifted the whole picture on inflation, what inflation could do to interest rates out 2 years. So I think it's given a period of stability to the entire investment market.
Ultimately, there has to be a clearing. I think there's a lack of political will to recognize the issue. No one wants to be on the end of a resolution trust corporation version 2 that sees the debt sold at 5 cents on the dollar for the private sector to earn 75 cents on that dollar afterwards.
It is the question, is it not? And right now, I will tell you this, and it's the part that scares me. There is not a single metric, not GDP, not employment growth, not consumer confidence, not consumer spending. You can't find one key metric that is moving in the right direction. I don't think that that bodes well. With that said, there have always been troughs and there have always been peaks. We've been bouncing along the bottom, so we've been bouncing along the trough. We have had over the last 2 years starts where it looked like we would get to stability. We're certainly seeing more product trade. We're seeing slightly better pricing, but I still think that we have a couple of years, and I'll go as far as to say it's really going to take the 2012 presidential election for things to change in the U.S. and for the real estate industry to really improve from there.
I think some markets are beginning to turn around, but I think on a broader based evaluation of the entire marketplace, you're looking at 3 to 5 years.
I think it's all about jobs. I mean, our business is quintessentially a residual business. It's about bums on seats and feet on the floor and the shoppers in the shops, and I don't think that is going to turn around quickly. If you think about how much money the US has pumped into their economy to get a 1% improvement in unemployment, I think it's a long haul. And I think there was an article in the Globe today, but I believe, and I've been saying it for a long time, our future lies as much in Asia as it does with the US, and we wouldn't have said that before this last recession.
3 to 4 years.
The sentiment in both the business community and the consumer side of things is, I've never seen it grimmer. If we look back, however, to other times in Canada's history when we've been in the dumps, whether it's Calgary in 1982 or Edmonton in 1982-3 or Toronto in 1990, based on the then current consumption of office space, we had something like 25 years of supply. In each case, it turned out to be dramatically less than that, with the possible exception of Edmonton, which took about 20 years. But Calgary was about a 10-year fix, and Toronto was like about a 7-year fix. So sometimes those horribly grim and dark forecasts don't affix themselves instantly, but they get much better than, much faster than was initially anticipated. So don't write the United States off.
My firm belief is that if you put the client's interest first and understand their business and understand that the problem you're trying to solve is part of a bigger business problem, you don't need a title. You just need to put the right people with the right qualifications on. And I think if we all looked at it that way, rather than using titles and branches to differentiate ourselves, anyone takes a very focused approach to the client will find they're providing a better level of service.
Our best guidance and best consultation for clients is advising them not to make a deal if it's not the right deal.
Understand what you were good at and what you weren't good at, and just to stay the hell away from what you weren't good at. And frankly, it's done well.
You're as good as the network that you build.
I'd say to get out there, to know as many people as possible, because it is a relationship business.
I have a cartoon that I used to carry around with me, and it's actually taped up behind one of my cabinets, but it's a kid flying a kite, talking to a guy about our vintage in a suit, eating lunch in the park, and and the kid is answering the old man. He's saying, I'm flying a kite, and if I wasn't having fun, I wouldn't be doing it. So you can only do two things: you either make money or have fun, and I'm certainly having fun.
Every single day, I cannot wait to wake up and come into this office.
Most days.
I have not had a bad day at work since I started, and that's not an exaggeration. And I have worked in factories, and I have cleaned offices when I was a kid. And I will tell you that my worst day at work is a lot of people's best day, and I keep that in mind every day when I come in here.
Absolutely.
I am, and if I'm not, it's 100% my fault. It's up to us to define how we have fun, and it's up to us to shape the things that need to be done. That doesn't mean it's going to be a barrel of monkeys or fun every single day of every single minute, but it's up to us to decide what we do and how we do it and make sure we have fun at it.